So just before the break, we talked about how do-it-yourself projects can sometimes lead to a big headache. And while the remodel or repair may seem simple and easy, sometimes it can be a whole lot more than that.
Oh, they sure can. So what DIY projects should you stay away from? Well, Brian Spyros is in Salisbury this afternoon at a job site with Spicer Brothers Construction. Brian?
Well, Lisa and Jimmy, the truth is people often start these do-it-yourself projects and then in the end they have to call in a professional to come and fix what they started. And joining me now to talk all about it is Brian Spicer, who is the president of Spicer Brothers Construction here in Salisbury. So the first thing, are you sort of noticing that more and more people are trying to take on these DIY projects?
Yes, we are. Over the last few years, you know, with the economy the way it is and people trying to save money, it's very typical.
So they're trying to do certain things and they may not even know how to do them, but they're still trying. And we're going to talk because you said there's a couple things you notice people will often try to do that really can cause a big problem. The first one, which surprised me, is people will actually try to get up on the roof and install or fix a roof. Explain why this is bad and what can happen.
Well, first of all, the safety, you know, not having the right equipment to get up on the roof and actually perform those tasks, and the knowledge too. You know, you can actually cause more harm to your roofing system, damage to, you know, to the system itself.
So basically, it's not a good idea to get a bunch of buddies, go up there, install a roof, because then if it leaks or you don't install it right, then you have bigger issues on your hands. All right, so we talked about the roof. The next thing, doors and windows. You said people will try to take these on themselves. What can go wrong?
Well, the lack of knowledge and proper flashing techniques is the biggest thing we have seen when we come to, you know, get called after the fact, is they're not installed properly, not properly flashed. Those, you know, will allow the rain to enter into the home, the water and precipitation, and it rot the wood. You know, flashing details are most often missed.
And then doing something as simple as that now, look, with the rotting wood, you have all these other problems on your hands. And speaking of wood, something else you said people try to do and it leads to problems, putting in a deck. Explain what's going on there.
Well, there are codes when you put with anything really, but putting on a deck, you know, if it's over a certain height, you should have handrails. The handrail, the railing system, you know, the spindles should be adequately spaced, not too far apart. You know, those types of codes. Or the decks we've often see is not properly supported.
And you said that one way that this will kind of come about is if you go to sell the house and an inspector comes out, they'll notice that the deck was not installed properly or is not up to code.
Yes, most of the time we see some decking, railing type issues on an inspection, you know, from a home inspector on the, you know, a home that is for sale.
That something was done wrong. So let's say, you know, with certain projects like this, you need to call in a contractor, a professional to do them. But when you do hire someone to do these jobs, what specific things should you be looking for or asking about?
Proper licenses and insurance, some references. In the state of Maryland, you're required to have a Maryland Home Improvement license to perform home improvements. A regular business license from downtown is not adequate. That would only allow you to work on new construction, but you have to have a Maryland Home Improvement license. Some references, the insurance to actually insure for the scope of work that you're doing.
And ask to go see a project as well that you may be doing at your home that you can go look at to see how the company handled that.
Yes, it makes sense to ask the contractor, you know, if he has any local jobs with the same scope of work, that they can get permission from the previous customer, get some feedback from them, actually visit the site.
So case in point, when taking on any project, if it's going to be over your head or you're going to make something worse, call in a professional.
Yes, sir.
All right, Brian, thank you so much. A lot of good information. We certainly appreciate it. So there you have it. Now, if you would like more information on Spicer Brothers Construction, all you have to do is go to our website, delmarvalife.com, and click on the show tab. With that said, Jimmy and Lisa, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
See, I got to admit, as a guy, I want to say, oh, I can do this, but that's not necessarily the smartest thing for me
Yeah,
to do.
you and my husband. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
Well, someone else you can count on to help you get out of the jam. A Friday night television jam, that is the Blue Bloods duos of Danny Regan and Marissa Ramirez, and Jamie Regan and his fiery new partner, Eddie Janko. Coming up in just a little bit, we learn what makes these partners work.
And talk about duos as if these gooey little mounds of ham and cheese are not wonderful by themselves. A special sauce on the bun before baking really brings it home. We are in the kitchen learning how to make these sliders. You know what?